This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This
Just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Wednesday, everybody. All our stuff other than our DBL mugs off the table.
Everything's off. Everything's off.
I was doing other things.
Listen, I did it too. I had a little shout out to Duncan.
Oh.
No advertisements.
It looks
but
like- it looks
I
like
just like them. I
Homer's-
grew up on Duncan. They're my kind of people.
You run on Dunkin'.
Yeah.
It looks like Homer's donuts, doesn't it? That looks delicious.
Who?
Homer Simpson.
Just a sprinkled donut. It's not necessarily Homer. It's just a donut with
Homer's
sprinkles on it.
Donuts?
Yeah, you know how Homer
My
always...
coffee mug?
Yeah. You know Homer's donuts,
Jeff,
right?
don't.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Homer
Homer
Simpson.
Simpson always has sprinkled donuts,
Yeah.
and that's what the cup
They look
looks
like that.
That's okay.
Oh.
There we go.
I told you not to,
Welcome
Jeff.
to DBL. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Christmas is almost here, which means we're going on break. So hang with us. Everybody's checked out. Let's talk about George Clooney. That'll get everyone's mind stirring, huh? He is sharing his thoughts, sadly, on his longtime friend, Matthew Perry. Speaking to Deadline, George said he met Matthew when he was just 16. Back then, Matthew said he would be the happiest man on earth if he could only be on his sitcom. But even after getting friends, Matthew couldn't find happiness, joy, or peace. If you remember, George guest starred on Friends back in the 90s, right? There he was. And George said it was hard seeing Matthew struggle, which is proof success doesn't automatically bring you happiness. You have to have happiness within yourself and your life. I 100% agree with this.
Yeah. I get asked by young people who want to be sitting in the seat. Like, what do I do? Like, this is all I ever wanted. And I'm like, don't say if something's all that you ever wanted, because you don't know what you want until you have it. Think about the way that you want to feel, not the things that you want to have, because those are two totally different things. So if you want to feel like every day, I'm like, when I go to work, I feel like I am representing people who are like me in some capacity, and I think about them when I speak, and that brings me joy and comfort to have that type of community. It's not because every day for 50 weeks we sit in this chair and I'm on television. It's two totally different things. It's the feeling, not what I'm doing.
Can I just add to that so well? I'm reading a book on this. It's the difference between a purpose and having a goal. And a goal can be, I want $10,000, or I want to be on TV, or I want to be famous. And a purpose is, I want my life to be lived in a way that speaks to people that don't feel represented. I want to feel as if I have a platform in which I can give myself fully and authenticate myself fully. That is more of a purpose, and that can lead you in much broader ways than I want to be on TV, which I always thought, I want to have this body, I want to have this marriage, and I want this. Things aren't like that in life. They're much more water logic than like rock logic. So if you're struggling right now with that, think of changing your idea of not a goal, but a purpose in life, and that'll really shift your mindset.
I agree with that, but I think that's very hard living in this society where you're told to want things, and you see people that live right next to you, above you, below you, that have those things. You might have a partner that kind of wants those things, or kids. It's like, hey, the new PS5 is out. Erica down the hall's got one. Can we get one? Like, that's, unfortunately, that's not about a platform to help people feel better. That's very great, and it's very idealistic, and we need people like that. But in America, where money and wealth and success is put in your face like that every day, billboards, television, you should have this, come to Hawaii. If you don't have those things, you do feel less than.
You feel lacking.
I mean, look at the way we treat teachers. We treat teachers like that because they don't make as much money as vulture capitalists who go and just, destroy neighborhoods because they have billions of dollars at their disposal. We, unfortunately, money takes precedence over everything. And ideologically, it's hard not to have that put into you as an American citizen.
But if I'm a teacher and I have to go through all of that and still want to be it, that means my purpose is I want to teach the young to better educate. And that is going to fight through the bad money and all of the whole school shoot. They are going to use that purpose as their lighthouse more than I want money.
But I think to Al's point, and I agree with you, to Al's point too, yes, everything is thrown in everyone's faces. Like, this is what these people have and you don't have it. But the moment someone who has everything turns around and says to you, these things that I have are not my keys to happiness. It's not what I use as the barometer of success. Then we turn around with so much vitriol and say, you don't know because you have this. But when you think about it, aren't they the only ones who really know?
Right.
Because they achieved the place that everyone seemingly wants to achieve. There's a clip that goes around about Steve Jobs all the time when he was on his deathbed, talking about, you know, if you have a car that's worth $200 or a car that's worth 200,000 or whatever, it still gets you to the same place. And the idea that all the money and the power aren't the things at your deathbed that are really going to make you happy. And people are like, well, it must be nice to be rich and be able to say that to us peons. Like, well, who are you listening to? Because you're over here looking at the people who are spending all of this money trying to look rich, and that's how they stay poor, as opposed to looking at the people who are living beneath their means in order to sustain wealth. So we're just completely backwards on everything.
Jeff, I think about you with this story.
Yeah, I could
this
talk
is like
all
how
day on
this is how you
I don't want
live.
to keep harping on this subject. I could do the whole half hour on this subject, but I think it's all about your mind, right? I know you see all those things. I know you have a vision of what you want. It's in your mind. Happiness is in your mind. And if you're a teacher and that's what you want to do and that's your idea of happiness, the pay doesn't matter. If television is what you want to do and you find happiness and you really truly don't want that fame or success that goes with that, then you found happiness. There's times in my life that I look back on when I was struggling and I didn't have it, or I worked out of a closet, but I was so happy to be working for this big conglomerate CBS, right? And all this magic happened there in the past, and I Love Lucy, and I was struggling, and I had this tiny little apartment. It was me and my girlfriend, no family, but those were the happiest days of my life.
Right.
The struggle. I have a family now, and I love my life, and I love my job, but if your mind is right, you're doing what you want to do, that's where happiness comes in. I'll get off this subject.
Totally.
All right. Kelly Osbourne revealed what she really wants for Christmas on the Osbourne podcast. Take a look.
I think I've decided what I want for Christmas.
Oh, here we go.
Plastic surgery.
Oh,
Plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Kelly, don't.
Well, I just think it's my time.
Too early.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you were
No.
what? How old were you when you first started your journey down the road of cosmetic surgery?
Early 40s.
Okay, well, Kelly's
Hello.
39.
All right, so Sharon has been very open about having multiple facelifts, and she said her last one was 2 years ago, and it made her look like a cyclops. Speaking of true happiness, she also admitted to taking Ozempic and is now unhappy that she looks gaunt.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
In her words, that was a quote.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting is seeing both sides of the coin in one podcast. One person really wants it. One person's been through it and seen the dark side. So you really get to see the need and want for it, and then you get to see the after effects. And whether or not Kelly listens or not, there's a teacher sitting across from her that's telling her it went badly, it went badly, it went badly.
How many women in our society do you think feels like Kelly?
Oh, so especially about like the neck and side. Many women, especially teen or younger women, feel that way. But Sharon is there to say, I've been through it and it has disfigured me. So you're seeing both sides of the coin in one podcast. She also said Ozempic, that she has stopped, has taken over so much it can't reverse. She can't eat, she can't get anything she can't gain any weight. So she's the flip side of the coin. It's just seeing a double-edged sword with plastic surgery. I'm not against plastic surgery. I'm just saying you get to see two sides there.
The irony is she's sitting across from a woman, her mother, who is doing everything she can in order to look like her, and she wants to change it. Like, I mean, it's really recapturing, they're spitting images of each other.
They are.
She's trying to recapture her youth, which Kelly has, and Kelly's saying that she needs to look different. So it's like a never-ending cycle.
Yeah. I mean, you could do a whole thesis on this podcast and what plastic surgery means to women and what it does to women and its psychological effects on them.
Yeah. I wish Jack would move his chair up a little.
It's a little
I was
low.
thinking that
It's
too.
very low. That's what I got from that. Watch it back. Coming up on DBL, Cameron Diaz is giving her take on having a separate bedroom from your partner. I love this subject coming up. And our interview with Peter Billingsley, who played Ralphie in A Christmas Story. What's his favorite holiday movie of all time? Wait till you hear my question.
Go ahead. I'm eating this.
What did Anthony get you?
Is that a Sour Patch Kid? You're very loyal to the Sour Patch Kids. You don't go over to the sour
So,
gummies.
Charles, these two, they really like gummies. They are obsessive with gummies, just so you know. Not those gummies, just regular gummies.
No one was thinking about those gummies.
I was. Go ahead.
My husband got me a weighted blanket years ago, and I swear by it. But now he gets really upset because he says that it's too heavy even on his side of the bed, although the weighted blanket is only on my side. Like it moves, it hinders his mobility. So there's this new thing that came out, and basically it's a big constricting, how would you describe it? Basically it's like a sleeping bag, but it contours to your body, and it's supposed to be the same feeling as a weighted blanket for like anxiety. So it came in, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, let's see.
It looks ridiculous.
Oh my goodness.
You could sleep in there? You look ridiculous.
Yeah.
That actually really does look
What happens if like something happens and you need to get up in the middle of the night quickly?
That looks like a mummy.
Yeah, it does look like a
There's a
sarcophagus.
I mean,
You
it's
look
like
Tutankhamun.
you can. I
It's
think I'm
very
gonna bring it. So we're going on a trip, and I think I'm gonna bring it.
You should have help you swaddle.
Yes.
When you sleep in a hotel, you like it tucked then, huh?
Yes.
You're see, I'm
I'm
an
a tucker.
untucked. I'm an untucked.
I like it really
Tucker.
tucked.
Do you guys get under the covers at a hotel?
Yeah, you don't?
I wouldn't get under the covers for any reason.
Dude, they say don't go on top of the covers. They say the cover, the top sheet.
No, I take the top sheet off and then I just sleep. I don't do anything.
Hotels do worry me a lot.
Yeah, dude, what are you talking about?
I'll sleep
Turn
in a
up the
hoodie.
heat.
I swear.
So you sleep just with no sheets?
Yes.
What's wrong with you?
This is the best.
This is the best.
I love it. Why can't every day be like this? All right, welcome back to DBL.
Erica just needs camera time.
Erica, what's going on?
She wants to be
put the
on TV.
camera on, Erica. It's her show. It's your show.
I had a cup full of Sour Patch Kids, and I was like, oh, I'll just wait until the camera's not on me, and then I put it down.
I'm telling you, it's Wednesday. Everybody's checked out.
Yep.
All right, we're just going to get through it.
Yep.
Cameron Diaz is weighing in on couples sleeping in separate bedrooms. The topic came up on a podcast she was on after one of the guests said her husband snores. Let's take a listen.
We should normalize like separate bedrooms.
Thank you.
To
By the
me,
way-
like I would literally like I have my house, you have yours. We have the family house in the middle. I will go and sleep in my room. You go sleep in your room. I'm fine.
Can I say something? It
Like
has
and we have the bedroom in the middle that we can convene in for
this is
our
gonna be a
relation.
bad.
But then Cameron was quick to walk it back. She clarified she took this stance before she married her husband Benji Madden and said she doesn't feel this way anymore because her husband is so wonderful.
What is the story, dude?
You're not for it?
How many houses is she talking about having?
Yeah,
Four?
it's like a compound.
My house, your house, we meet in the middle. There's another house. We do
Just
the
let's stick to
Charleston.
the subject.
Okay, I like sleeping with my husband. That sounds so weird. I don't enjoy the separation at all, but I also don't have children, so that could change things.
Well, I'm assuming he's not a snorer.
Not at all.
I think that's what the conversation we should really be having is sometimes when the people are lighter sleepers.
Oh.
I don't know. I think snoring is an issue.
It's a good excuse.
What about you? What do you think?
No, I'm liking the separate bedrooms.
And why is heat involved for you?
Yeah, no, just I don't like to be touched. I like the other stuff.
Right.
I don't like the after stuff.
Not the stuff
You know what I
after.
mean? Afterwards, go have a bowl of ice cream. Do whatever you want to do. I'm going to bed. And don't turn on the light. Don't touch me. Don't brush your teeth. I don't want to hear the kids. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed because I have to work tomorrow.
Right.
You want to come in tomorrow and knock on the door? Come on in.
You just want to set up kind of dormitory style.
Absolutely.
You want like appointments?
I
like
hang
office
socks on my
hours.
door for my family. Don't come in.
Office hours for Jeff.
My husband snores like a symphony. It's like there's a staccato.
There's a melody
like
to it.
Yes, there's a whole thing. But I still can't imagine not sleeping in the same bed as him on purpose. Like, I need to be in the bed next to him. It's a security thing.
It's a safety feeling. Yeah, I agree. If there is snoring, you might want to check for sleep apnea. As Anthony even checked?
I think Anthony's...
I just want to make sure people know that.
Anthony was a wrestler for like 20 years.
They broke his nose.
And so his situation is all over the place.
Gotcha.
I have suggested that many times, but we've just settled with what I call my ear buddies, which are earplugs that I sleep with every night.
Let me ask you real quick, did you ever go on vacation, like business vacation by yourself, and you're in that big, beautiful bed with all the pillows, and you're like, I slept like a champ?
No. I have to like put all of the pillows, and there has to be something that makes me feel like, all right,
You just saw the thunder blanket she was sleeping in. Yes, we'll have a picture of that.
I could talk about this all day as well, but we got to go. Coming up on DBL, we're talking with Peter Billingsley, who played Ralphie in A Christmas Story. What does he think about the classic film turning 40?
Christmas is in a few days, and some people who bought a live tree early are starting to notice their tree is beginning to look a little brown. One verified viewer asked us by text if there's anything they can do to keep their tree fresh. So let's verify. Does adding something to the water keep your tree fresh longer? Our sources are the National Christmas Tree Association and Kathy Crawley, an assistant professor of plant biology at Unity College, who explains the trick to keeping a tree fresh starts with making sure you buy a fresh tree to begin with.
And then when you get it home, make sure you cut off the base of the trunk, just a narrow disc, maybe half an inch, to make sure that the base of the trunk is open and that water will be able to enter the tree.
Okay, but what happens once your tree is set up and decorated? The NCTA says to ensure water is always touching the base, while some websites swear by adding something extra like sugar, soda, and even vodka. Crawley says that can actually do more harm than good.
It conceivably could stop the tree from taking up as much water as it needs if you add a lot of sugar to the water. Truly, all the tree needs is basic fresh water.
So it's false that adding something to the water helps keep your tree fresh longer. Crawley says the goal of the water is to help keep the tree hydrated and delay the branches from quickly becoming brown, dry, and brittle, a potential fire hazard. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis. To receive daily fast facts to your phone, text Verify to 202-410-8808. And to sign up for our newsletter, visit verifythis.com/email.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Welcome back. That was a clip from A Christmas Story, which is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. Do you feel old yet? And earlier we spoke with Ralphie himself, Peter Billingsley, all about the classic movie and the new season of his podcast, covering the greatest holiday movies of all time. Take a look. Please welcome to the show, Peter Billingsley.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much
So good to see you. Absolutely. Peter, A Christmas Story is 40 this year. Why do you think, just personally, I know, this has been the holiday movie for 4 decades now. What is it?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing I hear most from fans is that's my family. I think people really feel like they see so much of themselves in those characters. The mom and dad, the relationship with the brother. And it's, you know, it wasn't the perfect family. There's bumps and bruises along the way, but it really ends in that place, I think, especially on Christmas morning, that we all kind of want to have for our own family Christmas. So it's just feels very real.
Yeah. Ooh, that part.
I don't know why. I've seen this movie so many times. I still can't get past the tongue being stuck on the pole.
Don't do it. It really works.
Visceral reaction, Lord. Well, your podcast, A Cinematic Christmas Journey, is all about the greatest Christmas movies of all time. So, what is the most fascinating piece of trivia that you've uncovered from cast and crew?
Well, we love deep diving into the Christmas classics, and what's nice about the podcast, it's a longer format, so you can get a lot of stories out of people. Beverly D'Angelo, who plays Ellen Griswold in Christmas Vacation, told us that when Chevy did his famous rant, that no good, it's a lot of lines, and that's kind of hard. So all the actors standing in front of him had cue cards on their chest.
What?
So he could just go from one to one to one, so we didn't have to think about the lines.
Wow.
And then we had, so you get things like that in this format because it's a little longer, they're more relaxed. And then after she told that story, she said, I've never told that story before. So it just kind of dawns on them.
So you've been best friends with Vince Vaughn for most of your career, and he's a producer on your podcast. We have a clip from an after-school special you guys made together called The Fourth Man, okay? How did you both become friends on the set of this movie?
We met on that. So he had just moved out from Chicago. You can see we're both quite a bit younger. I'm roid raging in that moment, I think. He's trying to calm me down. We had met. I had been acting obviously since I was a kid, but I was starting to transition behind the scenes, and we got this part. And you take all your parts, you want to do great, right? And so we said, well, since we're playing friends, let's spend some time off set. So we hung out and we got to know each other, and it really formed a friendship that's lasted until now. Wow. He's the greatest guy. It was, very clear with him then, not a question of if he'll be successful, but when. Wow. Just a really talented, grounded, awesome guy. And then we've had the good fortune to work with each other a lot as well. So you never know. That's the cool thing about these projects. You meet different people, but it was fun to come up with him as well.
Now, I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm not going to make you the guy that wears the band T-shirt to the concert. So you have to remove your podcast from this. But, your movie from this. But what do you think the greatest Christmas movie ever made was?
It's a Wonderful Life, for me, is one that I like to watch a lot. Yes, it might be black and white. It's going to get to 100 years where it's still relevant. But you look back at a movie like that, and the things that they're talking about, the themes are just timeless. And I like Christmas Vacation a lot as well because it's just really fun.
It holds up.
Everyone has their favorites, which is what I like. But I like to go through them all and rewatching a lot of the Rankin Bass stuff. So Rudolph and just those kind of great old shorter film classics.
I do have a little issue with
Rudolph. He has a thing.
We were going back. I want to get your opinion really quickly because we have more questions. But I feel like Rudolph, it kind of pushes the wrong narrative because Rudolph is ostracized because his nose is different, and he's sent to an island away from the group. But then because they failed to plan for the storm, they had to go get this guy that they dissed because they were panicking, and Rudolph then had to help them. Rudolph, that's my issue.
Fair, but but I would say, doesn't it land in the theme of Christmas? Forgiveness, love. They made some mistakes. You're right. They should not have cast Rudolph out. That was wrong. But they saw the error of their ways. He's together, and it gives that, forgiveness, hope, and love that we all want to go for.
But Peter,
I'm making the case for Rudolph now.
Did they use him?
I think he might
maybe Rudolph comes back with some swag now, and he's just like, now you guys see.
He got his girlfriend in the end. He's back with his family. Things work out for everyone.
Oh,
all right.
I
think that's a good little end to the debate.
Shout out to Rudolph.
Shout out to Rudolph. Thank you so much for joining us today, Peter.
Thank you guys
DBL
for having me.
Nation.
This was lots of fun.
Oh, what an honor. Listen to Peter go through the greatest Christmas movies of all time, episode by episode on the podcast, A Cinematic Christmas Journey, streaming now on Spotify. Thank you again. Merry Christmas.
Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you all as well.
Bye. We'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
New tech taking off. Now with some extra baggage.
There's a huge opportunity to support the manufacturing sector.
Big box retailers like Amazon advertising drones for deliveries, but so far only in 2 cities, one in Texas and one in California.
Obviously, Michigan put the world on wheels. We see big opportunities to support other industries that impact transportation.
Drone deliveries won't be here in time to deliver your Christmas presents to your doorstep this holiday season. But a different kind of delivery is on the way. Michigan Medicine already testing out drone deliveries for prescriptions.
So being able to do it faster at a lower cost with lower carbon emissions, I think is is really exciting.
Let's say we're at their main location in Ann Arbor. The drones they're testing now have to carry temperature-sensitive material through Michigan weather and with limited battery life, meaning they can only go about 10 to 15 miles outside of their original location.
They have multiple, they call them nests, so they're basically the charging and the pickup stations for the drone itself.
Michigan Medicine plans to place more than a dozen of those across their community.
With that network of nests, we may be able to do things like charge and continue to extend beyond that initial radius.
Eventually making their way to West Michigan.
We have patients in every zip code in the state of Michigan and deliver prescriptions even beyond our state border.
Larger companies also hopping on that trend thanks to statewide support. The Michigan Mobility Funding Platform awarding California-based Mighty Fly a $150,000 grant. That way they can test their aircrafts here in case they hit any speed bumps.
What are the safety cases? What are the routes that make the most sense?
Mighty Fly drones won't deliver to your door, but it could make transporting goods across the state easier and quicker.
They have a unique drone platform that can actually move much heavier weights, longer distances.
So each company's drones are different, and they're all just getting started.
I do think it's kind of the future of not just pharmacy delivery, but I think it makes sense for a lot of other types of deliveries too.
But they all seem to agree they're launching something big.
On Monday, the Pope formally approved letting Catholic priests bless same-sex couples. Media outlets are calling the announcement a radical shift in policy aimed at making the Catholic Church, which has long shunned same-sex couples, more inclusive. The announcement spurred an increase in searches about the Catholic Church's stance on same-sex marriage. So let's verify. Has the Catholic Church changed its stance on same-sex marriage? These are our sources. The Catholic Church defines marriage as a lifelong union between a man and a woman. And according to the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, the Pope's announcement hasn't changed that stance. The Church still does not recognize same-sex marriages. What has changed is that now same-sex couples can receive a pastoral blessing from a Catholic priest. Those are blessings given to anyone who, quote, desires God's loving grace in their lives. It's not the same type of blessing that would be bestowed upon people getting married. So we can verify, no, the Catholic Church has not changed its stance on same-sex marriage. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Welcome back. Tori is telling a riveting story. When you're ready to update your bathroom, there are some things you can add that will benefit you as you age. Here are some tips sponsored by Jacuzzi. Consider adding these features that you need to know, like you need to add these features to your bedroom. like a curbless shower, non-slip flooring, grab bars by the toilet and in the shower, lower vanities, and lastly, bigger doorways. If you want to start your remodel, Jacuzzi can help you do it the right way. Jacuzzi offers an unmatched, stress-free remodeling process. Call 800-990-6834. Visit JacuzziRemodelBathroom.com. I'm sorry, Jacuzzi.